Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I am doing another concert review on one of my favorite modern artists. I don't know exactly what you would call his style of music. It can go from everything from ragtime to rockabilly to western swing to world music with his latest album, a little bit of country thrown in there, and a lot of fun as well. And I'm talking, of course, about the great Pokey LaFarge. Pokey is from south of Chicago. There he is. And just a world class entertainer. He's so cool. He dresses in in all the old vintage clothing. Back in the day, he used to he rolled his own cigarettes, and he lived the life of somebody from the 1930s for sure. And just one of the best. I think I first saw Pokey when he was on David Letterman, like in 2012 ish. He was doing his song Central Time, and at that point, he was under the Third Man Records label, which is operated by Jack White of the White Stripes, Raconteurs, Dead Weather, etc. But Pokey has really branched out since then. He started out with a group called the South City Three, which were predominantly like ragtime Americana kind of sounding. Like they used to have like washboard percussion. They all dressed in the suits. Pokey's hair was slicked back and real cool looking. So last night I got to see Pokey at a venue here local to me. It's about 45 minutes heading south for me. It's a little event venue. Used to be an old Harvester tractor showroom. They used to operate Harvester tractors, and it was kind of like a garage there. And it was bought out by the town and has become an event venue. It's been around since about 2015-ish or so. I was finishing up college when it came out. And actually, I had the good fortune of writing there for a year and got to see a bunch of free shows as a volunteer. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, I got tickets to this show. I got front row tickets. I was literally right in front of the microphone. So Pokey is here. I was essentially one chair over from the mic. The guy next to me was actually center. So I got there. It wasn't a sold out crowd. And again, this venue only holds about 400 people. But this was my third time seeing Pokey. I saw him back in 2018, I believe. And then I saw him the first time at a festival in 2014. 2014, yeah, because I just finished up my sophomore year in college. So third time's the charm. I see him every time I can. I'm definitely going to see him again, if you can't tell. But he came out. I thought it was just going to be Pokey himself. However, he had a guy on drums and then a bass player, and a stand-up bass player. And then, of course, Pokey was playing the rhythm and lead guitars. And he's got a great style of picking. Again, very ragtime, even in his new types of music. He's just a really good guitar player. But this is his latest album. It's called In the Blossom of Their Shade. Really solid album. And if you are a Pokey fan, you might be going back to hear some of his older stuff, which he did a couple of the old songs, but I think he played all 10 songs on this album. So he was really excited to play the new stuff. And even actually, he at one point was just out on the stage by himself and sang 2 new songs that he hasn't recorded yet. So it was really cool. He seemed a lot happier than the last time I saw him. And the last time I saw him, I actually got to meet him. I got to go backstage and have my picture taken with him and just kind of chewed the fat. But he was much happier. He was smiling the whole time. And again, I'm front row, so I could even hear his foot tapping on the stage. He was telling jokes with the crowd. He had no agenda. He was just there to have fun. I believe in the pandemic, he kind of became born again in his faith. So he mentioned that a couple of times from the show. But his songs aren't religious. But he mentioned it a couple of times, and I think that's part of his new love of life right now, and he's also mentioned that he's dating somebody again, which I know on his last album called Rock Bottom Rhapsody, he was, I think a lot of these songs were written before he found his new self. He had already found himself by this point, but he wrote the songs prior to that rejuvenation. But um, he he came out. Sorry, he came out and started with the opening of this album called "Get It Before It's Gone." Really raucous. He was kind of dressed up like Jimmy Reed, the old singing brakeman. He had his kind of some Dickies on and kind of like a railroad hat. And finally, when he took his jacket off, he was wearing like an old bowling shirt. So he was very vintage, very cool. And again, he did all the songs on this. One of my favorites on here, Rotterdam. He really did that well. It's a really acoustic guitar-driven song. And he did songs from Rock Bottom Rhapsody as well. My favorite Pokey LaFarge song is Lucky Sometimes, which he did solo. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you saw me put this on my story. And if you don't follow me, please follow me, Sam St. John. I have an Instagram that I'm devoting to music, if you want to follow me. But he did the song End of My Rope from this album. He did the song Lucky Sometimes, Fallen Angel, and Just the Same, Killer, Ain't Coming Home. He did a bunch of songs from this album too. So you really got a taste of these two albums. And I think part of the reason, I'm not 100% sure of that, but he recently joined New West Records when he came out with this album. And I don't know, New West seems like once you join them, and I might be wrong, but it's like once you join them, a lot of your old music kind of, it's not produced anymore. So he only did a couple of songs from that weren't on these albums. He did the song Something in the Water from this album, which was the album is called Something in the Water. That's one of his new classics. He did Wanna Be Your Man and Acting a Fool. He did that one. Goodbye Barcelona. So he did a few songs on this one. And let me see. This is probably my favorite album as a whole. This is called Manic Revelations, which is the last album he did with his original band called the South City Three, and he had a couple other guys on here as well. But these three gents right here were the South City Three, and now none of them are with him anymore. But let me see. I don't think he did any of these songs. Yeah, I don't think he did any of these songs, which is interesting because the last time that I saw him, this album had just come out and he hardly touched this album. So I wonder if this album has any kind of bad feeling with him. I'm not sure. Maybe he has something against. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. But this is my favorite. It's very rockabilly. But overall, it was a great show. I went by myself. Again, sat front row. My foot was up on the stage, like before the show started, and it was a receptive crowd. People were happy to be there. It sounded like just about everybody that I heard in the area had seen him before. The last time he was kind of close to town. The gentleman next to me was in his later 60s, and he said he'd seen him 2 other times prior, and one of those shows I was at as well. So it was a good crowd. Obviously, there were fans there. I got a cool poster, which is off camera here, but just really cool stuff. Pokey LaFarge, go check him out. I know he's going to be in North Carolina tonight, and has a few more shows through the spring. So hopefully he'll announce some stuff in the fall, and I'd love to catch him again. So thank you all for watching. Check out Pokey LaFarge. Let me know if you know anything about him, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Take care. Be good.